This is day 62 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. If you would like to sponsor a shiur or more than one shiur, please contact me directly. Much appreciated. Today we are doing from Siman Lamed Dalet Sif Gimel to Siman Lamed Hey Sif Aleph Bad Bichlal. We're talking about the Rashi Rabbeinu Tam and Shimusha Rabba we talked about also yesterday. Gimel, B'Tshuvas Rambam. Kosvu Chachmei Lunil Rambam Shitomo Siduro. The Chachmei Lunil were astounded at the Rambam and his Gaonim, and that they have a Masorah from the Gaonim. Rosham Rav Haigon, amongst them Rav Haigon the Avayos Be'emtza, the Vahayos in the middle, which is not like Rashi. The Shil Rambam Zelashon Zesh, the Ram responded. I had my opinion was also like you at one time, like a bit of time. Film Shili b'Marav kacha you, and film which I had in the West, presumably in Spain or Morocco, were like that. And so too wrote so and so, who remains blank here, and to deceive me. And he made him cause a mistake in all the people in the West. And he going to argue. Presumably the Egyptians or perhaps the Babylonians. Anshe Eretz Tzvi and the Israelis, Hakadmonim in ancient times, Chokim Mauzeh. When they say Ki Agoni Paskos at Tfilin Rav Hai, they only open the Tfilin Rav Hai. That's when, like I wrote in my Mishnah Torah. Rabbi Moshe Derek Shebamin Amarav Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Derek, their name obviously is a very ancient one, but he came from the West Eretz Yisrael. He said, "Tefillah Shalom, come on, Shem Makom." His tefillah was like yours, which was your Rabbeinu Tam Shimusha Rabba. And when they showed him the words of the Goyim Kadmonim, the ancient Goyim, and their evidence, he slipped tefillah. He taught, probably not literally, but he taught us to say his tefillah. But also, let's say that he did it in the right way. Interesting that he did not come up with the idea of putting on two pairs of tefillin. Rashi Rabbeinu Tam. The clear-cut evidence is that which is in Menachos HaKorei Kasidron. One who reads them should read them in the order in which they appear in the Torah. Klamar v'chulei kaseder Torah. This nusach in Gemara Menachos evidently was not in contemporary nuschos at the time of the Rambam, but as it is in the ancient versions. Upele, it's astonishing. It's astonishing that somebody wrote that Rav Hai Gon Paskan Rabbeinu Tam, but Rambam Kosav Shepaschut Tefillah Ve'ino Kain. The Rambam writes that they open his phone. It's not like that. When Mordechai v'chein B'shar Rishon Kosa Shenofla Habima. Wow, listen to this. The Mordechai and other Rishonim, I'm not sure how they know that, say that the bima, in other words, the stone, gravestone, Shalkever Yeches Kanavi fell off, Umatsu Tfilah V'Psachum. They found his stone, they opened up. And could say the Rashi Varambam. What? Okay, so, Rav Dessler says that explaining Rabbeinu Tam film, he says that Rabbeinu Tam, that's the Kachi Darkei Torah, that even if there's a Masorah, you go back and open up if your Raya is against it. But according to this Rabbeinu Tam, although he is associated with the and Rashi for that matter, although they're associated with the Smachlokas, the primary protagonists, they are not necessarily the only protagonists. And Rambam and Rav Haigon and other people involved, Midere Deres. We call him Tafsukein Halacha. All the world learns holds halacha like Rashi and Rambam, and Rav Haigon, and Yecheskel Navi. Those who put on Tefillin Rabbeinu Tam, Varkim Rakos film the Rashi, the Rambam, for the Spalim Bohem. They only put on Tefillin Rashi and Rambam for a brocha, and they make and they down to them Kilu Basko Yotza the Kein Halacha. Wow, amazing Lashon in the Arukh HaShulchan. It's as if a Basko came out that's the halacha. Wow, cool. Dalit. The Kasa Rosh Vatur, the Fish and Echluku Bogone Olam, Utfilish Elu Popslim Elu, The Russian tour, since that there's a right, the big since it's a big machlekas, and each month's film was possible on the other side. The tiny we learned Hachli Parshio Seha. That's why the Arukh HaShulchan wants to say it's like a Basco came out, because it's like Machlekas Beisam Beishamai. There are major ramifications for Karkafta Lo Manach Film Koyomov, that somebody who doesn't put on films his entire life. And obviously, we have to see that there's an Ashkacha El Yoina in the world going like Rashi and the Rambam, and that therefore that must be the Ikar Ratzon Hashem. Back to what the Arukh HaShulchan says here in Dalit. Again, because of the rush for to the future, the tiny parsha if you because it says if you switch the parshas in the order, parshanasim shall buy put those in this chamber, that chamber, psulim, they're possible. Chacham said there's enough room on the head to put on two tefillin and also on the arm. Therefore, Yereshimai makes two. I'm sure tefillin did not cost as much back then as they do today. Otherwise, we would not advise every Reish Shammai to spend thousands of dollars on this. Which make two pairs of film, put on both. We should have in mind they're putting them on. But the Hilchasa with those, whichever one I'm putting on. That was supposed, according to them, they're putting on both together. Not like today where the Chassidim put on Rashi and then Rabbeinu Tam at the end. It's like the Sfardim would put on both together. So you should have in mind, whichever ones are made, those ones which the others are just like simple straps. Mr. Bura says that you should be very careful not to have in mind that both are the same mitzvah, but rather that one that there's the same suffix. The Arukh HaShulchan goes on and says, "V'einkam shum bal toisif." There's eno elok she'osa chamesh batim. But bal toisif when you make 5 chambers of one tefillin, not when you put on 2 pairs of tefillin. Mr. Brewer says that if you put on 2 pairs of kosher tefillin, that is bal toisif. Okay, it's a chiddush, and it's not mutter here only because one of them, each one is possible according to the other shita. The Arukh HaShulchan goes on. But I want to say Mishnah Berurah is a big chiddush. To say that putting on 2 zugos of tefillin is a Baal Tosef. That brings into core question Reb Chaim Pinchas Steinberg and the many tzitzis. Obviously, it's a different because you could say it's a garment, put as many garments as you want. But still, I'm not sure that this is the case. Okay, one has to consider this carefully. Shouldn't put both pairs in one sack. Because according to one opinion, the other one is possible. So it's just chol. It's just nothing. Also, it's him because can put him in the tefillin cycle. To make 2 kisim, the simul kol kis and make a simon for each one. Adoni Avi Zal, the Arukh HaShulchan's father, whoever that was. So I'm sure it says a Sharbat, which by me is not torn open. His father's name was Aaron Halevi Epstein, whoever that was. Rabo Rabbeinu Meir. No, this is not the Arukh HaShulchan's Rebbe. Who are we quoting here? The Rosh. The Rosh or the Tur? Oh, it's the Tur. Okay. The Tur. Adoni Avizal is the Tur saying about the Rosh. Rabo Rabbeinu Meir Sal. And the Marami Rutenberg, who was the Rebbe of the Rosh. This is only possible by a very small tefillin. By our friends, the tiny tefillin like this, you can put on 2 at once. But by the big ones, no. Hey, Rabbeinu Beisesu Kosav, the Beisesu it's Achar Shekosav Divrei HaTur, after he brings down the words. The Tur is Zeloshonov. If you don't know how to put on both together, then you put on, obviously with our tefillin today, which are much larger, you put on the as one, the tefillin she'an shel rosh, of like Rashi, Bisakem Miyad, and then remove them immediately, Miyad, Yaniach Acher Masmach Baruch Rishon, and put on the other ones based on the first bracha. Some say can't put them both together, put on the Rashis and make the bracha on them. You should have them on by the Shema and Shmoneh Tefillin. After that, you need Rabbeinu Tam below bracha. Shmoneh Rabbeinu Tam without a bracha, V'yikra B'yam Shema, V'yam Shema. And this is the minhag of the Hasidim. For lo yasakein elamisha muslim forcing bechasidus arkan l'shayna. Chasidus back then didn't mean the same thing it means today, but one could say today that means somebody who's muchsak to be a chassid should do this. Klomer, if you can't come Hashem yochol, and yochol nicham ba'asachas. If you can't put it on one time, and nicham b'zachas, that techam miyad, this you put them on one after another immediately. If you have a rechal is a shit, so make a bracha either one you want. With some variation names, some say, Klomer shevarach rak. Shivarach Harak al shel Rashi. They show me the bracha shel Rashi. Go yisakem techef. Not yet Rabbeinu Tam, and not take them off immediately upon the Rabbeinu Tam. El achat tefillah until after the davening is over. Tam nesha ikar halacha. They be Rashi Rambam because the primary halacha is like the Rashi and the Rambam. Mishnah Bura writes that he says that in the Shulchan Aruch should take out the words Yisal came miyad altogether. Means rather you should put one shel Rosh. And if you can't put them on together, they put in Rashi, and after davening, put them on Rabbeinu Tam. So he takes out that entire option from the Shulchan Aruch, which is interesting. And there's a brackets here about the Cain's appearance at Sikon Gimel. I love Sikon Dam Sikon Deish Nichak with Varav. Near Shafar by Aggressive over Acher Shulchan Aruch, perhaps like Mishabura. Because Sikon Vav the Zesh Kosh and Nicham Bekis Echad. That which you can't put them in one sack. We didn't make a tonight to begin with to put on both of them. How about be no? If you made it tonight, shari, it's permissible. And there, that which Beis Yosef said, that only somebody who's known to be a big chassid should do this. Today it's spread in several countries. They put on Rabbeinu Tam. That's not considered to be gaiva. Came for tavo Allah bracha. Okay, Arukh HaShulchan is being kaveh a bracha to anybody, but it's on tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. The halacha says that even if the since as mother lav milsa, so even you made the zeko for one of them, and before you put in the film for the first time, you change your mind. It works. Wants to say that if the tefillin are in a teak, which is special for them, the kiss. In other words, they have the cover like we have. You know those boxes, which in the old days were cardboard and now plastic. So then, then the zekel itself does not become designated because the ikar cover is the covering which you put on tefillin on the inside. Vav, I believe Manecha. Do not be astounded. The king which is tefillin Sharab Rashi puzzle Rabbeinu Tam, Rabbeinu Tam puzzle Rashi, since each one is puzzled from the other one. And Echav Shar Shagaone Olam Chasidi Darasu Klal Yisrael B'Kama Zmanim Lo Yikaimu Mitzvahs Tefillin B'Chasam Yisrael B'Atol Chas V'Shalom. It's a theological question Arukh HaShulchan is raising here, an obvious one. How could it be that people, since Rabbeinu Tam presumably only put in Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, not necessarily, of course, but even Rashi only put in Rashi tefillin, we assume, etc., etc. So how is it possible that some Gedolei Olam were never Yotzei Mitzvah tefillin according to the other side? So says Arukh HaShulchan, even though in halachas, in Svarim Badim and halachas, such as the Arukh HaShulchan, we shouldn't write things which are witness, which should be stated by whispers. And the hidden things are for Kodesh Baruch Hu, and obviously the people are very close to him. Especially because we don't know much about Kabbalah. Arukh HaShulchan is going to give us now his own approach towards the idea of Rashi Rabbeinu Tam. Zayin, you should know the Baal Mital Oz, Shemiyasha Vesogos arrived at the Rambam. The Baal Mital Oz who refutes the Ravid's glosses on the Rambam. Kasab Inyan Zev he writes like this. Kasab Ravid Zal, the Ravid writes against the Rambam, Rabbeinu Haigon and Omer King. And he says that Rav Haigon was like Rabbeinu Tam. Vani Omer, the Mital Oz says, Rav HaMachamer Farish Kasher Kibbeh Rabbi Yosef, the Rambam says, Rambam learns like his Misor. I'm not sure Rambam the Ravid who the Rambam Chaber is, but in any event, but I assume it's around because then he quotes the Shuv of the Rambam. It says the Chacham Elunio Shishol V'Shum V'Chulei Vayodei Asor V'Chulei. Somebody knows the secrets Yaskil will know. Sheyesh l'chol dei shorish v'anaf. Each of the sources, each of the opinions has a root and a branch. And they're both the living words of God. They already found a medrash which is hidden and was concealed. And we're compelled to change that which we're accustomed to do. And we decided to change this. All the Rambam speaking, like we changed to order what you're doing today. So this is all part of the Nachas, the Mida Oz quote of the Rambam's tshuva. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Mida Oz himself talking. It's not clear. Anyway, wherever it was initially, this is Rabbeinu Tam. And once they hid in the hidden medrash, drunk das Rashi Rambam that the change do like Rashi and the Rambam. Ches, when he was like the medrash hanelam hazeh ubezor Pinchas, the Zohar and Parshas Pinchas, the name bezor so bo. Omer mefurash, it says explicitly Parsha Kadma. The first Parsha is Kadesh. Tinyana is Vayakim Yacha. Parsha Flisa, the third Parsha Shema v'chulei. Inkach Shema Samach Levaya. So Shema is adjacent to Vahaya Kibiyacha, the first Vahaya. Parshavia Rosa Dedin Parshavia Rosa Dedina Kasha Yishamru Lachem. And the fourth Parsha is Vayam Shor, which is the din of what happens to Bnei Yisrael. They don't keep the mitzvahs. Akashon. And the first Karashi. So we see explicitly like Rashi. Some repudiate this. To say it's only on the writing, which we saw already going to Rabbeinu Tam. You have to, even though the Shema is at the end, you write it third. Aruch HaShulchan says clearly going on the putting on. And this is the truth. Pinchas is bar dvarim, and based on Zohar and Pinchas, which we're about to see, things will be clarified. Tefillin, this is test. Tefillin delay Keseder Havaya. The tefillin should be in the order in which they exist. Diu Kadesh Li Vayaki B'Yacha Shema V'Yom Shema. Ava Ba'amod Aseh. But in the world to come, Havayas B'Emtza. Then the Havayas will be in the middle. Dinon Hashem Hashem. Because V'Haya is the Yos Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. Akal Shona. Berk V'Zeh Ein Shom. Urani is like Biuro. Glinei B'So Perkim P'Sachim Amar Chazal Shel Asi Lavo Yomu Shem Havai K'Si Baso. In the eventual future, the Shem Havai will be read as it is written. At that time, Hashem will be one and His name will be one. They shall because then the Yetzirah will be negated. There will not be any evil nor any corruption. And therefore also the travails will cease, as is known. Now Shema is last. The book see because in it says it talks about the Golus. As opposed to the eventual future. I'm doing this in advance, but this is the Arukh HaShulchan for Tisha B'Av. So I think no, it's not. This one for Erev Tisha B'Av, but still the idea is the same. That it's appropriate for Erev Tisha B'Av. Okay. Again, sorry. The Bucks he Vishom Lachem Peiftel V'Chem V'Gomer Ba'Vatem Meher V'Gomer. It talks about the Golus Mashein Losi Lavatei Shema B'Achrona Shabok Siv Ach Avas Hashem, because then it'll be after the Golus, and Shema only says Avas Hashem. Ve'Ein Ba'Onesh, there's no description of a punishment at all. It's just Avoida Mi'ava, not Me'ira in the first Parsha of Shema. So that's going to be on the outside. Zeshma Zohar Kadosh. Parshas Bo. Parsha Ri'ah, the Zohar Parshas Bo, which you saw in the previous save, says the fourth Parsha, Rosa Dedina Kasha. There's a secret of difficult judgments. Kamvor Lamavin, as understood for people who understand. The eventual future, the Vahayus will be together. Why will two of us be to Yishan Mishnamosius Vayah? Yesh Kol Shem Havaya. Ulasi Lavo. Yuzeh Eitzel Zeh. Din Hashem Hashem. So we know Hashem Hashem, and you give me us Hashem Koim Shiechta, Hashem Achar Shiechta. So one Hashem is before the Golos and the others were after the Golos, and therefore they will be together. That's just my addition here, I think. But nay, I think that's what he means. Klamar the Havaya, Dina Klamar the Havaya, the Kamosha Kos Nichtav Kach Nikra. It's going to be Havaya, like it's been in the Torah, that's going to be read. Remez Yesh L'Zeh Bashinim de Kadesh Ushma. There's a remez, illusionist in the Shinim, which are on the sides of the bottom of Kadesh Shema. Shem Eitzel Shinim, the Shorosh, which they're both by the shins of the Shorosh Yeshbem, Biyachad Yud Gimel Roshim. They have altogether 13 heads. The shins have 13 heads. Sounds like it has 7. I guess with the Tagin, each one has 3 Tagins, so then that makes 7 plus 6, which is 13. Like it says, okay, this is the names of the feast of name Emes, the Kavanas HaTorah. So therefore, both are true. Rashi Rabbeinu Tam, according to the Torah's intent, according to the way the Torah has its has 2 times 2 epics, in each one a different order. The feast of Emes, the Kavanas HaTorah, there's Manazeh. But are they named Yoisen Nochel Karashi? They told me should be Amarno. It's more appropriate to go like Rashi, as we said. Chemra Braisa Shema Vayom Shema Mismol. Shema Vayom Shema on the left. Achshav Yisrael Mikodem Shema. V'chag Vayom Shema. Now Shema comes first, and then afterwards Vayom Shema. Let's see Lavo in the eventual future. Yisrael Shema Vayom Shema Mismol. It's going to be interpreted. Klomar Mismol Yeshma V'chag Vayom Shema. The left will be Shema on the outside, and Vayom Shema will be on the inside. And the Shema Yebesof V'Avayos Be'em. So that's Arukh HaShulchan's theological explanation of Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. Siman Lamed Hey, Sif Aleph. We have many Hashin, but the number of lines in the Tefillin. Pi Kabbalah Mekaman Nogel L'Chtob B'Shal Yad Zayin Shitim B'Chol Parsha. They made write 7 lines in each parsha. Sharosh Arba Shitim. And the Sharosh, you write 4 lines in each parsha. So here, in this Shel Yad, which I have here, which is one of these old ones, only has 6 lines in the Shel Yad. 6 lines. Unless I'm counting wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But in the Sharosh, it does have 4 lines. If you change, it's not possible. Because there's not a Gemara, but Gam Tamad over Loni Glolon. And we don't know the reason. Therefore, it's not an impediment. Sofer does not do it like the sofa of our tefillin here. Is not raised worthy of tzarich leave the and you must check after that sofer. The bracket says here, since the Yeshiyah is opposite the heart, and the heart is under the jurisdiction of time. It's got good and bad inside it. And time is 7 days. The Shorosh corresponds to the brain. Kula Kodesh, that is entirely holy. Okay, the Arba Shitim, Osi Hashem, therefore 4 lines correspond to the letters of Hashem. Usyag Lezeh, and like a hint to this, Ayin Zor Pinchas Dafresh Zayin Pikuda Shtisor Chui Ayin Sham Beduk. So I missed the Mishnah Berurah before. The Mishnah Berurah says somebody puts on film the Rabbeinu Tam after davening in Befarhesia in front of the Kehillah, he holds its Yura, and he brings down the name of Shvus Yaakov that if even some people do it, it's still Yura. And if you put them on in front of a great person who doesn't put them on, in public, only in his house. It's certainly Yura. And if it's a person who is, but if it's a person who's known to be machmir in other things, then a particularly pious person, they can be machmir even befaresia. The Mishnah Berurah says, if for shalyad, a person only has a short cloth upon which he cannot write only 7 lines, unless he writes very thin, it's better to change the number of lines because that's because of Zekeli Manveu to write a normal writing, which is certainly not the case with this tefillin, which is very poorly written. That's Zekeli Manveu to write with a thick writing, which is, and also because it won't get erased so quickly.